Are y'all ready for more? Because I have more for you. And some more. Let's get into it. Okay, today we are starting off with the goddess. The goddess archetype. The oldest religious traditions on earth may well be goddess worship, with some archaeologists trace back further than 30,000 years. It is certainly natural to worship the archetype of a woman as the source of all life, especially in the age before male warriors replaced her with their combative sky gods. The connection of fertility with exaggerated sexual attributes found in ancient statues of the goddess survives in modern worship of screen goddesses such as Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield. The goddess can be inspiring to women, embodying wisdom, guidance, physical grace, athletic prowess, and sensuality. This aspect is awakened by our relationship to the goddesses of various spiritual traditions. The shadow side of the goddess emerges from an exploration of feminine power, including the exploitation or overindulgence of movie stars and fashion models. Identifying with the goddess figure as a major archetype in your chart requires that you review lifelong associations with the image and personality associated with it. So think about, let me think. Okay, like Athena is the able-bodied warrior woman, as well as the classic powerful woman behind the throne. Xena, the warrior princess, Buffy, the vampire slayer. Attractive women who are also strong and capable. The energy of Venus, Aphrodite, is prevalent in women who form their self-image strongly around their sexuality. Study the specific qualities of each goddess and evaluate how much of your sense of self is reflected in one of those patterns. Moving on. Next, we're going to talk about the gossiper, the gossip archetype. Also, the networker is kind of similar to this one, but the gossip archetype is associated with rumor spreading, backbiting, and passing along information that is exaggerated and harmful and intended to disempower. On a professional level, the shadow gossip manifests as the publishing misleading information, creating damaging rumors, or hounding celebrities for their photos. Although everyone is prone to listening to and spreading gossip in some way, a gossip archetype thrives on the power that is generated by passing around information that is secret or private. Most people will hesitate to choose this archetype because of its negative implications, yet so many people make their living in the business of political, social, and entertainment gossip in a positive way. The archetype is connected to lessons of truth, integrity, and honoring the trust another has placed in you. So in assessing your connection to the gossip, review how many of your life lessons have emerged from participating in gossip that has harmed another, and then coping with the consequence. Do you measure the quality of your relationship by whether a person is willing to share secrets with you? Y'all, don't be going through these lists and you hear the name of these archetypes and you know, or you have some type of thought, at least some type of something like you. Anyway, whatever. Don't be listening to the names, hearing the names of these archetypes, and then automatically be like, oh no, that ain't me. I don't gossip. I just said one time that such and such was doing such and such, but I only told one person. Don't listen. I don't care if it sounds positive, negative. Don't be making these lists and you only picking all of the things that you feel like are amazing. The God, the goddess, the hero. Y'all ain't all of that, okay? Don't do that. Let's move on. We're going to move on, but I'm just saying, how you going to know how to operate in the right way within your family of 12 if you're going to lie to yourself? Okay, so next we have the guide. The guru, the sage, the wise woman, the spiritual master, the evangelist, the preacher, The guide archetype. The guide takes the role of a teacher to a spiritual level, teaching not only the beliefs and practices that make up established religions, but also the overarching principle of seeing the divine in every aspect of life. Clearly, you do not have to be a professional teacher, preacher, or guru to have this archetype, as we all can learn to lead others spiritually by developing our own intuitive spiritual awareness. Excuse me. And passing on whatever we have learned with genuine humility. To count this archetype as part of your support group, however, you will need to discern in your life a continuing pattern of devoting yourself to teaching others from your own spiritual experiences. Okay, you have to really think, how often do you do these, or you participate in these archetypes? Because when doing so, especially with the guide, it's saying that you have gained wisdom through some combination of self-discipline practice and study, and perhaps like spontaneous spiritual experiences. Wisdom also comes with age. And so think about the wise woman represents the ripening of natural insight and the acceptance of what is, allowing one to pass that wisdom on to others. The shadow aspect of the God is visible in many modern gurus or traditions who are more interested in financial gain and controlling their followers than in imparting spiritual insight. Okay. Let's keep going. Next we have the healer. All right. The healer archetype manifests as a passion to serve others in the form of repairing the body, mind, and spirit. It expresses itself through channels other than those classically associated with the healing of illnesses, and so you need to look beyond the obvious definition of what you do. You can be strongly guided by this archetype in any occupation or role in life. Some people, by their very nature and personality, y'all, I'm having a time. Don't mind that. Some people, I'm trying to multitask, by their very nature and personality, are able to inspire others to release their painful histories or make changes in their lives that redirect the course of their future. Essential characteristics include an inherent strength and the ability to assist people in transforming their pain into a healing process, as well as having the wiring required to channel the energy needed to generate physical or emotional changes. Transmuting, if you will. Just because you work in a healing occupation does not mean that this archetype is for you. I'm just saying, I want everybody to understand that, like, when going through these, and actually when I get done going through all of these archetypes, then I'm going to give you a list of questions that is also in the book. That's going to help you really determine which ones you work with and which ones you don't. But again, just because you work in a healing atmosphere does not mean the healer archetype is for you. Let's move on. Okay, the wounded healer. The wounded healer is initiated into the art of healing through some form of personal hardship. Anything from an actual physical injury or illness to the loss of all one's earthly possessions. Regardless of the shape of the wound, the challenge in this initiation process is that one is unable to turn to others for help beyond a certain degree of support. Only the initiate can ultimately heal the wound. If it is an illness or an accident, it will frequently be one for which there is no conventional cure. The wounded healer archetype emerges in your psyche with the demand that you push yourself to a level of inner effort that becomes more a process of transformation than an attempt to heal an illness. If you have successfully completed the initiation, you experience an exceptional healing, and a path of service seems to be divinely provided shortly after the initiation is complete. The shadow of both the healer and the wounded healer manifests through a desire to take advantage of those who need help, including claims that you can heal any and every illness a person has. Yeah, we all know somebody. That's all I'm going to say. We all know somebody. We all know somebody who swear up and down that they can heal anybody from anything. And it's not genuine. Okay, next. Moving right along. The hedonist. This archetype has an appetite for the pleasurable aspects of life. From good food and wine to sexuality and sensuality. As scientific research has shown, pleasure can improve our health and extend our lives and needs to be part of a balanced life. Indulging the self is central to the psyche of this archetype. Whether treating oneself to a healthy spa or learning the nuances of love making. That is the hedonist. It's generally thought of as someone who pursues extreme measures of self-indulgence. It's more of a reflection of our heritage than of this archetype itself. In positive terms, it inspires creativity, energy, and the psyche to embrace the good things in life. It also challenges, in a positive way, the collective archetypal fear of being seduced and losing control in the physical world. The shadow may manifest as pursuing pleasure without regard for other people or one's own good health. Moving on, we have the hero and the heroine. I need a hero. Okay, so many of the gods of the world's ancient religions began their lives as heroes capable of great feats of strength or skill. The hero is a classic figure in ancient Greek and Roman literature, often portrayed as one who must confront an increasingly difficult path of obstacles in order to birth his manhood. Today, this archetype holds a dominant position in the social minds as an icon of both male and female power, from the superheroes of comic books such as Superman and Wonder Woman to television and countless movies and popular novels. So, in the classic hero's journey, an individual goes on a journey of initiation to awaken an inner knowledge of spiritual power. The self emerges as the hero faces physical and internal obstacles, confronting the survival fears that would compromise his or her journey of the empowerment and conquering the forces arrayed against him or against her. The hero then returns to the tribe with something of great value to all. From a shadow perspective, the hero can become empowered through the disempowerment of others. The manner in which the hero uses his physical power is a reflection of the spirit of the hero, represented through authentic facts of heroism. Look at Batman. Also, get it. Let's continue. We have the judge. The template for the judge archetype in Jewish Christian culture largely derives from King Solomon, who was notable for balancing injustice and compassion. So, thoroughly do we maintain this ancient template that Solomon's characteristics. Balancing is now the standard by which we measure all judges. Those who manipulate or disgrace justice or violate this creed are held to be social and moral criminals, having damaged the honor of the courtroom and the nation, and the archetype itself. For that reason, this archetype should be understood as one that has the vision to manage the fair distribution of power in whatever form it takes, from violating military code to breaking marriage vows. One need not be an attorney, judge, or critic by profession to identify with this archetype. If you are a natural mediator or involved in interventions between people, you may carry this archetype in your psyche. Personal qualities that inspire in you a commitment to lead a life with high standards related to justice and wisdom, as well as the manner in which you interact with other people, reflect a strong connection to this archetype. Prolonged suffering from having been misjudged, an experience that walks hand in hand with learning forgiveness, should also be considered an expression of this archetype in your life. But as with all other archetypal evaluations, you are not looking for one experience of having been misjudged or misjudging another, but rather a lifelong learning process that is centered around the learning of injustice and compassion. So the shadow judge manifests as consistently destructive criticism, judging without compassion or with a hidden agenda. Legal manipulation, misuse of legal authority, and threatening others through an association with the law are other expressions of the shadow. Such manipulation includes the misuse of business authority as well as conventional legal and criminal authority. Moving along. Okay. This will be the last one for this video. The king, the emperor, the ruler, the leader, the chief. The king is an archetype of major proportions, representing the height of temporal male power and authority. Both benevolence and cruelty in their extreme expressions are associated with this archetype. Classic to the cruel king is the collective hope of his kingdom that he should fall from the throne. The king is associated more with royal blood and inheritance, whereas an emperor can arise from the common society. The bloodline connects the king to the prince archetype and to attitudes of the entitlement. One of the shadow characteristics of this archetype associated with the rulership, a resistance to criticism, questioning, and challenges in decision about controlling his kingdom, is also part of the king's shadow. Throughout history, the pendulum has swung from good king to evil, from benevolent, even saintly rulers to greedy, gluttonous criminals. This archetype maintains the same characteristics on an individual level, whether one's kingdom is a corporation, a community, or a family. The need to rule and exert control over a kingdom is key to this archetype. And there we have it, people. Another day, another video. More archetypes to come. I am wanting to finish this list before the end of May, honestly, because I am so ready to get back into the book of how to go about applying and working within these. Anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good day. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Have any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave them below and I will do my best to get around to it. That's all I have for you guys today. So, bye.